Now we'll check nested if else option. Now nested if else statements means that if you're having if statement or if else statement inside another if or else block, we are calling it as a nested if else statement. See here you can check the syntax and you will understand. Now here you can see this is a if condition, this is the if block, and inside this if block there is one another if else block here. Inside this if block there is another if else block. Same way we can have another if else block in else block also. So writing if or if else inside another if or another else is known as a nesting. Just take it by one example here. See, once again we are just entering one number from keyboard. So this is a code we have written already. If x modulus 2 is equal to 0, here we are printing number is even. In else case we are printing number is odd. Okay, so this is simple if else. Now inside this if or else we just want to check whether this number is positive or negative also. So already we have written if else to check whether number is even or odd. Now we want to even check whether this number is positive or negative. So that thing we can do by writing another if else here. Here I am writing another if now. If x is greater than 0, so this number is positive. So now here we are changing this statement like this. This number is even and positive. And now we are writing another else block. Just change the statement. Number is even and negative. So this if else we have written inside this if block. So this is known as a nesting. Same if else we can copy for this else block also. Make small change over here. This is known as a nesting of if else. Writing if else inside if or inside else is known as a nesting. You can check output here. So here we are entering suppose say minus 33. In that case number is odd and negative. So this else block is working. Means like first it will check for this one. This condition is false, so it moves to else block. Then this condition will be checked. As this condition is also false, in this statement. This is what we have written with a nested if. Next we'll check another option of implementing nested if else, that is if elif else statement. If elif else statement. Now this statement is very useful if you want to check multiple conditions and execute the specific block of statements depending upon the condition. Here it's a syntax of if elif statement. So every if elif is having one expression, and depending on the outcome of that expression, a respective block will get executed here. Okay, you can check this in image also. Number of conditions are there. Every condition is along with this if statement, if expression. Now here elif you can consider like it is a short form of else if. So here you can say if expression 1, else if expression 2, else if expression 3. This way we can write down any number of else if. And finally there is one default kind of statement like a else statement. So execution will be like this. If this condition is true, it will execute this block. If this is true, it will execute this block. Likewise, if all condition remains false, then else block will get executed. So if elif else statement is very useful if you are having multiple conditions to write down in shorthand format like this. I will see one example by using this if elif else block. Example statement is like this. The marks obtained by a student in 5 different subjects are input through the keyboard. The student gets a division as per the following rules. If percentage is above 60, then first division, percentage between 50 and 59, second division, percentage between 40 and 49, third division, percentage less than 40 will be considered as a fail. And we want to calculate this division by two ways, by using if elif else block and by using nested if else. See how we can implement this code now. So here we want to take input of 5 marks. So we're just counting here by using print statement, enter marks for 5 subjects. Then we are taking input by using our input function. This will copy for 5 times here for 5 different subjects. Now we want to calculate average marks by saying marks is equal to m1 plus m2 plus m3 plus m4 plus m5 divided by 5. So this is the entity which we want to use for comparison purpose. First we will try this program by using nested if else. So in this case, first condition is this one, that if percentage is above or equal to 60. So that we can check like this: if marks is above or equal to 60. Sorry. In this case, division will be first division. So here we are printing first division. Then we'll go for else clause. Now else clause you can consider like this: inside else marks is less than 60 now, but we are having various options now here in less than 60, that it is between this range 50, 59, 40, 49 or below 40 or like this. So here we'll go with another if block. If marks is greater than 50. So now inside this else means it is less than 60. Now we are checking whether it is greater than or equal to 50. So if it is true, then we will print second division. Then another else clause. Now see, this else clause is for this if. Now inside this else means it is smaller than 50. Now there are once again two conditions between range 40-49 or below 40. Here once again we are writing another condition: if mark is greater than or equal to 40. So in that case we will say third division. And now this will be our last option, last condition, else below 40. So in that case we are printing fail. So see how this nesting of if else works. This is your first if else, where we are checking if it is greater than 60 or less than 60. Inside less than 60 there is one another if else, where we are checking whether it is greater than 50 or less than 50. And inside less than 50 there is another if else which checks whether it is greater than 40 or less than 40. And depending on that we are having this first division, second division, third division and fail. So we can execute this code now. We need to enter marks of 5 different subjects, so we are entering some values randomly. Now it is printing third division. It means this marks, we'll do one thing, we'll print total marks also here. It's, it's average marks instead. So we are printing it over here. We'll run once again, enter marks. Marks is 55.6 marks here. So this condition will work greater than 50 and it is printing second division. So this is what is meant by nested if else. Now same code we want to execute by using if elif ladder. Okay? If elif else ladder. So in this case, these all statements remain same. Only we want to change this nested if else by if elif else. So we'll do one thing. Just remove these statements from here. And now we want to write down the same code by using if elif else blocks. You see, in this case, once again our first condition remains same. If marks is greater than 60, here we will print first division. Now here, instead of writing else and if, we are writing elif now. And there will be two conditions now. If marks is greater than or equal to 50 and marks is less than 60. As we have seen previously also, these two conditions contain this marks option. So you are getting this chaining option. Right now we'll forget about this warning and we'll keep as it is only. So our two conditions are like this: marks is greater than 50 and less than 60. So in that case we want to print second division. Then another elif will be there. Marks is greater than or equal to 40 and less than 50. In that case will print third division, and then finally one else clause will be there that will work if no, all these if conditions are false. So here we are saying fail. So end result will be same once again. You enter marks of 5 different subjects. So marks is 47, so it is printing third division. This is how we can use this if, elif, else kind of option here. Now we'll come to this warning. So this warning is just nothing but it is telling us to use chained expression instead of writing like this. So in that case, if you go with this warning, your expression will look somewhat like this. Instead of using AND operator, we can use chained comparison like this here. Okay, so that we mentioned previously in some case, I think while learning this operator, we mentioned it. Instead of using these two conditions and AND operator, you can even go with chain comparison. This is a warning, you can ignore it and you can go with your regular AND operator also. This is how we can implement nested if else, and this is how we can implement if elif ladder. Both options are interchangeable, so we can use as per our convenience either if elif else block or nested if else. Next we'll check this option of writing shorthand if and shorthand if else. Your if block contains a single statement or else block contains a single statement, you can write down if or else in a shorthand format. In case of if, it is very easy. We have to write, just print this statement in front of this if block instead of indenting it. If we are entering one number, checking with in this case this is a single statement, so you can even write like this to like this also to understand. I will go with else block also. Block is there. What? Both if and else contains a single statement. So instead of writing if else like this, we can write it in very easy way. Just keep this thing as it is and write down it. First we are writing this statement, what we are written inside if block. Then we are writing if condition. Then we are writing else clause statement here. Same if else what we have written here, we can write down very easily and format like this. First write down a statement which you want to execute if condition is true, then if word, then condition, else word, then write down a statement which you want to execute. Then you write down a statement which you want to execute if condition remains false. Easy way to write down if else if your if and else contains only single statement. So see, if you remember, while learning operators, we said that in case of Python we can also implement ternary operator. If you remember, in case of C, C++, we are having one ternary operator. Ternary operator means which takes 3 operands. In case of C, C++, we are having one operator like this one, known as a conditional operator which takes 3 operands. It works just like a true false, sorry, just like a if else here. Same conditional operator you can implement by using this shorthand format of if else. You can say this is a way we can implement this ternary conditional operator in Python by using. Lastly, take this one statement, pass statement. So see, can't keep your if block or else block as an empty. We need to write down something inside this if block. We need to write down something inside else block. Suppose for some reason your if block or else block does not have any content, there are no statement related to if or else, but you want to follow if and else logic over there. So in that case, we can go with this pass statement to avoid error. Here pass is just like a null kind of statement. It will not do anything. Here, like this, if x is greater than 45, don't want to do anything. So in that case, I can write down this pass statement over there. Pass is an empty statement, a null kind of statement. Do not do anything over there. Suppose with this code, suppose value of x is greater than 45, nothing will happen. Smaller than 45, else clause will work. The pass statement. Pass statement, a null kind of statement which we can use to suggest an empty statement. This is regarding with else. If or if else, we said the decision making statement, execution of code depends on some certain condition. We are having various ways we can implement it, like if statement, if else statement, if elif else statement, nested if statement, and if and if else. Okay, so the first control statement we are having decision control statement, if else.